In 1969, a series of letters arrived at newspapers across San Francisco. The writer made a terrifying claim. He said he was responsible for multiple murders, and if his letters weren't published, he would kill again. At the bottom of each letter was a strange symbol, a circle with a cross through it. The writer signed every message with the same chilling name:
Zodiac. To this day, nobody knows for certain who the Zodiac Killer really was. The story began on December 20, 1968. Two teenagers, David Faraday and Betty Lou Jensen, were sitting in a parked car near Lake Herman Road. A mysterious man approached their car. Minutes later, both teenagers were shot dead. Police had almost no evidence. At first, investigators believed it was just another unsolved double murder. But 7 months later, it happened again. On the night of July 4, 1969, another young couple was parked at Blue Rock Springs Park. Without warning, a man walked toward their vehicle and opened fire.
Darlene Ferrin was killed. Michael Mageau survived, despite being seriously injured. Just minutes after the attack, someone called the police. The caller calmly confessed to the shooting, then added something even more disturbing. He claimed responsibility for the first double murder as well. Soon afterward, newspapers received 3 handwritten letters. Each letter contained details that only the killer could have known. To prove he was telling the truth, he included information that had never been released to the public. The letters also contained strange coded messages. The Zodiac challenged people to solve them. One cipher was eventually cracked. It claimed that killing people gave him pleasure, but it never revealed his identity. As fear spread across Northern California, the Zodiac became even bolder. On September 27, 1969, a young couple was relaxing near Lake Berryessa. A man wearing a black executioner's hood suddenly appeared. A strange white symbol was stitched onto his chest, the same symbol found in the letters. He tied the couple up before attacking them with a knife. Brian Hartnell survived to describe the terrifying encounter. His girlfriend, Cecilia Shepard, later died from her injuries. Before leaving, the killer calmly walked to their car and wrote the dates of his previous attacks on the door. It was his signature. Less than 2 weeks later, the Zodiac struck again, this time in broad daylight. Taxi driver Paul Stein picked up a passenger in San Francisco. The passenger shot him inside the taxi. Then, unbelievably, the killer tore away a piece of the victim's shirt before disappearing. Days later, newspapers received another letter. Inside was the missing piece of Paul Stein's shirt. It proved the writer really was the killer. America was horrified. The Zodiac continued sending letters for years. Some included more coded messages. Others mocked police officers, newspapers, and investigators. He seemed to enjoy watching the entire country chase him. Thousands of suspects were investigated.
One of the most famous was Arthur Lee Allen. Many believed he was the Zodiac. Some evidence pointed toward him, but investigators never found enough proof to charge him. DNA testing decades later also failed to provide a definitive answer. Other suspects came and went, yet none could be conclusively identified as the Zodiac Killer. More than 50 years have passed. Technology has solved countless cold cases, but the Zodiac mystery remains unsolved. His letters are still studied, his ciphers continue to fascinate experts, and investigators still receive new tips even today. Some believe the killer died years ago. Others think his identity is hidden somewhere in evidence that has not yet been fully understood. One thing is certain: the Zodiac Killer just murder people. He created fear across an entire nation. He turned every letter into a weapon, every cipher into a challenge, and every unanswered question into part of his legacy. More than half a century later, the man behind the symbol remains one of the greatest unsolved mysteries in the history of true crime. Maybe one day, someone will finally uncover the name hidden behind the Zodiac.